Welcome back to Obduction with me, Golden Self. And another thing that is creeping into our view here is the sphere. And it occurs to me that we never rotated this thing. Is there a way to bring it back into Captar? Yeah, we can bring it back right now, but we can actually rotate this thing and then bring it back the way we want it. But before we do that, before we get sidetracked with a different thing, because I never even thought to try that until now, when I came out here and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this thing. And the fact that down in Captar, there's probably more that we can see if we just rotate this. But for now, let's go back and read the Joseph's journal. The Joseph journal. Oh, is there something here? Oh, hey, there's a couple of notes as well. Let's read these first because they're probably short and sweet. The rate of dissipation is sensed and regulated automatically. The power is collected through Villain-engineered extruded cables that attach directly to the dome membrane. Okay, so the power is collected through the dome membrane. When the maximum power level is exceeded, the dissipation phase is triggered, creating electrical charge followed by a discharge into the wall. Oh, so it discharges. I had it all backwards. I thought it was discharging into the ground above by simply connecting to the membrane of the dome, by going through it. Directly to dome. When the maximum power level is exceeded, the dissipation phase is triggered, creating electrical charge, followed by a discharge into the water. Through electrolysis, an amount of hydrogen and oxygen is generated. Yeah, that does happen when you electrocute water enough. We capture some of these elements for our own use, but the great majority is released into our atmosphere. This gassing might be a cause for concern, were it not for the ecosystem's ability to filter and maintain our atmosphere at near ideal levels. Okay, good. Excess H&O content and pressure generated by the process is rebalanced quickly by the membrane. And as you know, we discourage swimming when the bleeder is operational. That was actually page 2, so let's go back to page 1. Mr. Mayor, at your behest, here is the information pertaining to the bleeder, its history, and some of the engineering behind it. The bleeder project was designed and built at the request of Mayor Sims to collect and dissipate the increasing power in the entire ecosystem. Whoops, I pulled out the analog stick and it did that. Mayor Sims was reluctant to allow the system to come to fruition, as he and others had become suspicious of Mayor Farley's death. He believed that without knowing more precisely what would happen to the cell wall at fruition, it was ill-advised to allow it to possibly quote-unquote open, thus allowing what might be outside in and what might be inside out. The system has the capacity to throttle all 4 connected worlds. The idea, as you are well aware, is to suppress the ecosystem power and thus inhibit full maturity of the trees. It was postulated and since became apparent that this suppression will keep whatever unknown quote-unquote maturity process from happening and grant us direct control over tree fruition. Okay, so this is the Cecil School of Thought. I still do not fully understand this. Let's go back to page 2 here, read it again. The rate of dissipation is sensed and regulated automatically. Power connected through Villain-engineered extruded cables, blah, blah, blah. Discharges into the water, could be kind of dangerous. All right, but what seems to be apparent, what seems to be possible is that Mayor Farley was killed somehow over or by the bleeder. So that's interesting to know. Meanwhile, oh yeah, the notebook, of course. How could I forget? Let's read it just where the mayor would have read it. And we have the mayor's wonderful handwriting to deal with. Well, that's just the nature of this game, I think. Special Council Session 2. Discussed final approval of this is 17-125, by the way. Discussed final approval of Farley's plan with regard to the imminent attack. The full council vote was unanimous, and I gave my final approval. Preparations update. Farley says the tunneling is almost complete. THAM informs us that the Villains just completed their construction and have started testing. Alright, so that's probably talking about the gauntlet. 17-126 AH. Special Council number Session 12. No one attended. I will inquire as to reason for their absence. And then the next day, it appears that the council members feel like we're having too many meetings. Since the plan has been approved, perhaps we can reduce our meetings to every 2 days for now. While I was asking Cecil about his absence, I also inquired about securing the tower area. And the next day, Special Counsel Session 13, Cecil will provide a new key code for the tower lock in the next few days. Cecil was concerned about any survivors not having access, so it was decided that we would conceal the code in Farley's house and give the residents the location as they were being chambered. Oh, there you go, that's the explanation for how we got in here. I also had him change the upper tower access code. Oh, that would be the phone one. A clue to that code has been placed under the direction of our first mayor. What is that about? Wait a minute. The first mayor is long dead. A clue to that code has been placed under the direction of our first mayor. Maybe that means it's on his tombstone. I have decided to bring some of the more important mayor's logs with me for chambering. Excuse me. I've decided to bring some of the more important mayor's logs with me for chambering, specifically the initial Hunrath log, and then the logs that document the history of our conflict with the Mofang. I would think we would have an extra chamber available for historic documents. Special Counsel Session 14, only Tam attended. He informed me that because of the dire circumstances, the others were either extremely busy or not inclined to have long discussion about the situation. So the mayor more of a talk, not act kind of guy, I get the impression. Wait a minute. More of a talk, not act kind of guy. Let's see. Long discussion about the situation. I told him I would suspend the regular special council sessions, and we would simply meet as the need arose. And then the next day, I paid a visit to Farley today. I asked her to check on the availability of a chamber for the documents. And then 4 days later, I spent the last few days collecting documents. I've divided them into two categories, chambered and vaulted. The vaulted are less important, but obviously worth making an effort to save. They can be moved into Farley's vault area. The vaulted category will also include any books we've managed to collect through the years. Okay, so there's some books and things in there. We've already been there, though, I think. With less than a week remaining before chambering, this is on the 2 days later from that. And yeah, I think it was today or when the chambering happened was the 48th. The population is tense. We've had several town hall meetings to try to answer any questions, but the realities of the current situation make it difficult to assuage fears. He's very articulate, by the way, in the English language in prose, but it's been a long time, I suppose. He's been immersed in this world. 138. Farley has informed me that there is one final confirmation from Shavar. If Farley doesn't hear from her by the end of 17141 there is no turning back. There is an odd justice to Farley's plan, and that whatever the Mofang bastards send to kill us will be returned back to them. Okay, we were supposed to swap back. I think that was also in Farley's thing, her paper. It said you're supposed to swap back the thing that they send us, but I don't know. Farley has informed me that there is one final conversation from... Or maybe that's in fact what happened, and that's why there was no Mofang in Soria. Or maybe that's why Earth was destroyed, for that matter. Special Council Session 15, and why the smoke would be fresh as well. Special Council Session 15, a special meeting was called to go over the plans for the final time. Farley had several instruction sheets to distribute, the Mofang weapon illustration, a list of all souls that will be used as a basis for the chambering manifest, and a thorough summary of the battle plans. Instruction sheets. Interesting choice of words. These will be distributed as necessary. Oh, of course, to the colonist. No word from Shavar. That's ominous. Farley tells me that there will be at least one chamber available for historic documents. I wonder if Shavar got... We never found out, by the way. I don't remember. I can check the book whether Shavar got potted. But anyway, where was I? No word from Shavar. Oh, no, wait. Farley tells me that there will be at least one chamber available for historic documents. Any other extra chambers will be loaded with emergency provisions and medications, in which case either Hunrath or Murray are completely destroyed. No word from Shavar. No word from Shavar. Death is on our doorstep. Curse the Mofang devils to hell. And then on 143, I am leaving to be chambered. This journal will remain here to inform any future souls of what our last days were like. Well, so be it. And let's see if Shavar ended up making it into here. Let's see, that's a C name. And yeah, made it, seems. So just probably at the last minute. All right, well, we didn't need word from Shavar, or perhaps maybe they did. Maybe that's something went wrong there. I don't know. But everybody seemed to have made it into the chambers. And Alex Kindle in the comments section has told me that, has told us that the steam and stuff going in, that coming out of the pod area, that means that they're actually unpodding right now. So everything went swimmingly. In fact, everything's fine. But now we've read through there, and we got a license plate here, and that's an odd thing. It kind of makes me... I always kind of dismissed the license plate? 48DCTD66? Maybe we should do 48DCTD into there. Into the top one. But if this elevator doesn't work, I mean, what's the point? Although, maybe... No, entering from the top shouldn't make a difference. So... Oh, and there's like an actual bedroom down there. So this is just like a... What do they call this? A general council area? And they couldn't get like a few more chairs? No wonder they didn't like coming to these meetings, man. They should have like... They could have made a few more chairs. I guess they have this area down here as well to have discussions. I wonder how many people there were in the council. Alright, cool. So we have this shortcut open now. We've gotten in here. And I think we should go try... it's a pretty easy jaunt. Actually, no, it's not. I have to go turn the bridge back around to get back to the phone area. Tell you what, let's mess with this for now since it's right here. How am I on time? I'm on time. I'm doing good. Let's first of all, let's see which direction we should rotate it by going in and going back over there and seeing what we see. Seeing which way this bridge points. And it's shocking to me that I never thought about doing this before, but it is what it is, I guess. Alright, I'll see you on the other side. And we're back in Kaptar. And the bridge currently goes this way. And which way does this go? This goes to a door that we can't currently open, right? Right. So, what we should do is just rotate it 180 degrees. Also, we don't know. Some other paths might open up. Let's start with rotating it. Let's see. I think the thing only rotates to the right. Let's start by rotating it 90 degrees to the right and see what happens. When we come back, the bridge will be facing that way, but this door will be facing that way. And that's actually kind of annoying because this is here. You know what? No, we have to have it like this. That's right. Yeah, we can't. I thought, I remember why I decided not to do this, because if you take that up to the top and then try to come back around, well, the sphere on the other side doesn't have one of these, so you have to just leave this here and we're just going to have to block our exit to it for now. And I will see you back in Hunrath. And we're back in Hunrath. And now, as we've seen before, we can go back this way and rotate the machine. Let's just see which way it turns. I think it's to the right. Oh, it's to the left. All right, well, we'll do one turn to the left then, whatever. And we'll just do every one of these. So I have to remember that was the first one. And I'm going to head back and see you back in Kaptar. And back in Kaptar we are. And back in Kaptar we find this bridge goes nowhere, and this doorway goes nowhere. So no big surprise there. Now the next turn should line the bridge up with that. And I just wanted to know what was here, just in case there's something that's not obvious that's going to happen. So back we go. And it's just another one of these puzzles, basically. It's a bit of a rehash. Actually, it's a bit of a simpler version of the gauntlet. So no problem. We're back in Kaptar. This is rotation number 3. And I accidentally screwed up my timer, so I'm just going to have to watch it more carefully and stuff, and it's bad. But this is still a no-go, actually. That third rotation was not enough. We're going to need to do one more, at least, to go this way. Yeah, it's going to turn to the left, right? Yeah, so we need to do one more to get there. We also can see this way that we are blocking... Where was it? I just saw it a second ago. That we're blocking a way out. That way. Which, I think that's not a way we've been. So that's good to know as well. Let's go ahead and go back and do it one more time. At least. As many as it takes. Alright, so we're back on the 4th or 3rd. I'm already forgotten which rotation it is. And it didn't help us yet. There's another door over there we can see. I think probably the same one we already were at that we couldn't go to. And it's not good. Or maybe it was that way, but nothing has been opened up. So we're going to keep doing this until I get somewhere with it. Something's got to happen eventually. One of these days. It feels like there should only be 4 turns, right? But I'm not sure that's the case. Because I think we just did the 4th one, and it didn't take us back to 0. So maybe the next one will? And also, why didn't we see anything? Maybe there's not more. Maybe there's more than 4 turns. I have to check this more closely. For some reason, I thought that every turn was 90-degree angles. Because, well, earlier on, we thought that seemed to be the case because we were rotating the other sphere and by 90 degrees every time, which is the same sphere, just a different composition. I don't know. See you in a sec.